Alright, what's up YouTube? Isaac Wilson here. This is actually going to be my second video on my new page that I've created. And something that I wanted to do is I wanted to make sure that I was able to solve all the Rubik's Cubes for anybody out there that is interested, whether it is that you want to learn maybe a new algorithm, you want to learn how to solve an individual cube. It really doesn't matter to me. I will be solving all the ones I know how to solve. The first one I'm putting out is the 4x4. The 3x3 I own is not around at this particular time, and I hope you don't mind, but in the background is the best team ever. The only team that we can't beat is the New England Patriots. But hopefully Tom Brady retires here soon, and maybe we can get over the hump. So until then, I hope you enjoy this video. I hope it's helpful, and hopefully you'll be able to solve the Rubik's Cube just like me. Alright, so it is my hope that I'm going to be doing this video exactly how you will be holding your cube as you go along. Now, it's my plan that we will do every single step in this video, so it may be quite lengthier than your other ones, but you will literally see this cube from it being in its unsolved state every single move up until it gets to its solved state. So hopefully it's helpful. I will throw out any thoughts that go through my head that help me, for example, like the colors, where they're positioned on the cube, and maybe just some algorithms that I know. Now, I do not talk about the R primes and the L and the D and D prime. I won't say it in those terms. I guess I'll say it in more country terms, so to speak. But it's what I do to remember how to solve. So now you're looking at a fully jumbled up cube. I mean, I've literally for the last 2 minutes just been mixing it up. And what you need to know before we begin is that on any even number cube, so this is a 4x4, it is considered to be an even numbered cube. They do not have a center like the 3x3, 5x5, all of those. They have a center that does not move. If that center does not move, then you can always quickly go to that side and know, for example, you're dealing with the white side or red side or whatever side. With this one, we've got to create them, and we got to know what is opposite of what. So for the majority of this video, white will be pointing to the sky. There's only one part really that it's not pointing at the sky. So in order to create the white, if you do, or if you are able to solve a 3x3, then getting the white 4 centers are not going to be it's not going to be too hard for you. But what you want to do is you always want to create it on the side. You want to create, for example, like 2 white ones that will create a column. And I think of columns as holding something up. That's how I teach Algebra 2. So columns, you know, they hold something up, and a row would be laying down, in my opinion. So I see that if I turn, this one was there. Hopefully you can see that there's a white there and a white there. If I just turn this to be on the same face, they're not going to be lined up to be a column. They are diagonal of each other. But if I do one simple move, if I just take this one, put it in the bottom left corner, then I bring it around, it will create me a 2-colored column that now I can take up to join with the other 2. And this process is actually what you have to do to create all of the centers. We're having to create the white center, create the yellow center, and create the other centers as well. So we're going to do that process of creating a column and then taking it wherever it needs to go. So I'm now going to work on creating the yellow. After you get the white, you want to go opposite of white, which is yellow, and I need to do that by creating some columns. I see that this one's already on the bottom, and something that I see is that this one's in the bottom right. Something that I see is if I just will bring this up, I'm going to be able to get those together. Now the question is, well, Isaac, you messed up the white center that you had. Yes, you are correct, but as long as I create this yellow 2 here, yellow pair, and if I will turn it so that it's in the same column that I need to move back to fix my white, then what happens is when I fix my white, you see that it went to the bottom. So again, it's on the side, my white's messed up, but if I put it in the same row that's going to be moving, it will create 2 yellows in the bottom. So then that leaves me with just the other 2. They are found here. They are actually on the same row. That's not a good thing for me. So I need to move one of these so that they are at least on opposite rows, and then when I turn, you see that I've created a yellow column. Now with this yellow column, I'm wanting to take it to the bottom, and something that you would think is that here on the bottom, you would think that you want the 2 yellows that you need to move down. You would think that they need to be lined up with the 2 that are not yellow. But if I do this and I take it to the bottom and I get them out of the way and I fix my white because I can't mess the white up, I see that I have the exact same thing. So what you have to do to avoid this, and this is also what you'll need to do for the sides, is you actually have to line it up with the stuff that's already yellow. And if you line it up with the stuff that's already yellow, then you do the same move. You want to take this yellow stuff with your white pointing to the sky, take it to the bottom, get this off of the row that you're going to be moving back up to fix the white, and then fix the white. When you fix the white, you see that you also have the yellow centers as well, which is what we're looking for. Now I'm going to move into the side colors. Again, I told you that I'm going to say things the way that I remember them. Since we don't have centers that are that do not move, we have to create them. You need to know where the colors are and what is opposite of certain colors. So since I work at Corbin, our natural team colors are red. So since we're red, I always fix the red first. Again, it's just a personal preference. You may go to a school that your school colors are orange or your school colors are blue. If so, you can solve that color first. But for this video, I'm going to talk about solving the red one first. I go about it the same way. I want to create 2 reds that are in a column. So I see that this red and this red, they're already ready to go. If I just turn the top one, you see that I've created a red column, and with that red column I'm actually going to turn it so that it is a row now, so to speak, that is laying down. I like dealing with these things laying down because if I move it now, they're going to stay together. I'm looking for the other 2 red. I have found them here. When I find them, I want to put them together. I'm going to lay them down on the opposite row from where the other 2 red are. So since those are on the bottom, I'm going to put the other 2 red on the top, which would be there. And I'm going to spin it around so that the reds match up. Notice that as I was doing that, white never messed up, yellow never messed up as well. So I now have the red center, and this is how I remember it. If white is pointing to the sky, so if it's pointing up, and I'm looking at the red side, I'm from the great state of Kentucky, home of the best college basketball team probably ever. Might be a little biased there, but I think Kentucky is the right team to cheer for. So blue is found on the right side. It's over here. So blue needs to go here. And then what I remember is that opposite of red is orange. I think of orange and red as like sun colors, basically. So they need to be opposite or corresponding. And then opposite of blue is going to be the only other color that's left, which is green. So you've got to continue to get your columns, but then you've got to be able to move them in the right spot. Now, I was very fortunate that 2 blue is already together here. I need to find the other 2 blue, which you guys can hopefully see is here and here. They're on the same row, which if you've been listening, that is not what I need. So I'm going to move this one where it's going to be in the other row, and also set up where when I spin this, notice that it's together. Now when I spun to make these 2 blue, you see that I messed the red up. It's okay though, because I'm going to be moving those red back, and if I'm strategic with this, I'll put the blue on the same layer as the red, because whenever I bump it over to fix the red, I keep my blue, which is very good. And if you fix the red, if you fix the blue as I have here, you're more than likely going to come down to where you've got 1 piece needed on the other 2. Now remember, opposite of red needs to be orange. So since red is here, this pair of orange is wrong. It's in the wrong spot, but it is good that it's together. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to bump this orange over to where it needs to go. I'm going to get it off of the row that I just bumped over, and I'm going to fix or take back what I bumped over so that I keep my red, I keep my blue. Now I'm definitely set up where orange is opposite of red and green is opposite of blue. And when you get down to that you only need 1, this orange needs to go down here and this green needs to go there. The process you need to do is I would look at one color that needs to change, the other color that needs to change is on the top, and then I put the 2 that need to flip-flop. One of them's in the top right, the other one's in the bottom right. So the one that I'm looking at is in the top right, the one that I'm not looking at or that is on the top is in the bottom right. And this is the only move that you need to do to get all of your centers. Take up the one you're looking at, bump the top clockwise once, and then bring down that, and what you'll see is that you create your pairs. There's pairs all over the place. The things that we have already put together, and then the things that we need to go ahead and put in its correct place. So again, here's red, so that means orange is going to be opposite of that. You cannot put orange with the layer that needs to be changed. Remember that it's just like when you're doing the white and the yellow. Put it on the same row. You want to turn it so that it is right. Get it off the row that you just turned, and then bump it back. And when you do, you have got all 6 not corners but middles, which is what we needed. And now we need to move on to the next steps in solving this 4x4. Alright, so now we have a cube that has all the 6 centers, and we need to get the middle edge pieces. We've got to pair those up as well. The 4x4, there's a lot of pairing that is involved, and what you want to do, for example, is you have to locate 2 blocks that particularly don't have yellow on them, there's a reason for that, but any two blocks that are a pair. So what I see is I have an orange white here, and I have an orange white here. What I need is I need them to be on opposite rows like they are right now. If you notice, I can take it up and it will connect, and you have the white orange together. If they're on the same row like this, where I have a white orange and a white orange, but they're on the same row, then all you need to do is you need to take the bottom of your cube, and I always say turn it to the right of what you're looking at. Look at your front face, turn it counterclockwise, and then bring your right face actually clockwise. And if you then just kind of rotate the cube, you see that the white orange there, white orange there, and these two colors are different, which is what we need, because when we take this up, the white's going to pair with the white, orange pairs with the orange, and that's good. So anytime that you have this set up, you want to go ahead and take those up, and I try to always take these to the right until I run out of things that I can replace it with. But what I mean by that is we want to keep what we just created here, but we also have to keep all the centers as well. Okay, so turn this up to pair those edges. I then turn this front face that I'm looking at, I turn it to the right. And what I want to do is I want to replace these two with something that's wrong, basically. So, for example, I see that these two, they don't go together, so, you know, I could break that up. I could break those two up. I could break those two up. So I have a lot of options, and all I want to do is replace this with two that are wrong. And then I just turn the front back up and make sure I reconnect all of my centers. And what has happened now, notice that I've got a white orange pair there, and I'm going to do this process with all the middle blocks that will not have yellow on them. I typically do the ones that have white on them first. So I see this white blue here. I need to find the other white blue. This is really the hardest part, but here it is. I need to make sure that they are opposite. So one on top, one on bottom. This one is on the side. So to get it on the bottom, I just need to turn that one, and then turn this bottom where it'll be on the same face. Now, it's on the same face, and I could have saved myself a little time, but since this is an instructional video, notice that when I turned it here, the top and the bottom, they're on the same row. That does not help me. So to get them on opposite rows, remember this move again. Turn this one to the right, the bottom one to the right. Turn the one you are looking at counterclockwise. Turn the right side clockwise. And what you have done, if you just let the cube rotate like that, you have a white blue on the right, white blue on the left, and it's set up for you to take them up and connect them. Now again, I typically always take to the right. You can take to the left as well. All that matters is I replace these two that are correct with something that is not correct. So just for instructional purposes, I'm going to turn it to the left this time. Turn it to the left. I want to replace these two with two that are incorrect. So I'm going to just bump that down. These two are clearly incorrect. I'm going to take the front back up and make sure that I connect my centers again. And I just keep doing this process until I get all the way down till there's only blocks that have yellow on them. And I'm going to do one more for you. Here's the green white. Here's a green white, so I have one here. I have one here. So in order to get them on top and bottom, I'm going to turn this face that has the white green. I'm going to get that white green on the bottom, and I'm going to bump the bottom around so that here's my white green, here's my white green, and it worked out that they're opposite, which is great because I can just turn it up, connect those, and then again you can go right, you can go left. The only thing that matters is that you replace this with something that's incorrect. So I see something that's on the top, those two are clearly incorrect. I then just want to turn the front face back and fix my centers. When you fix your centers, you just keep doing this process until you have it all the way, until you have only yellows that need to be solved. So for this next bit, I'm just going to quietly get the other colors, green orange. Green orange is here, so I'm going to get them opposite of one another so that I can bring it up, connect them. I'm looking for stuff that's incorrect. Here's a good example. Everything that's on the right, it's all correct, so I have to take this to the left, bump something down that's incorrect, turn it back up, and fix my centers. I see white red here, white red there, they're on the same row, so I'm going to turn away, turn the front face counterclockwise, turn the right face clockwise. It gets them opposite so that I can turn this piece up, connect them. These two, I see that they're incorrect, so I can move right if I want to. Just bump those in its place, which is there, and then bring it around, fix my centers. As I spin it around, I see that I have blue orange here. I have blue orange here. So I have those two blue oranges. I want to get them opposite, so I'm just going to bring these down so that this one's on the top. If I spin the bottom, now that one's on the bottom. I've got blue orange, I've got blue orange. I can take it up, connect them, and then I'm looking for something that's incorrect. There's nothing on the right side that's incorrect, so I must bump that to the left. When I bump it to the left, I bring down something in its place that needs to be changed, take it back up, and fix my centers. I have a red-green here. I'm going to keep it on the top. I'm going to look for the other red-green. Here it is already on the bottom. Spin it around. It's great because they're already opposite. Turn it up. You see that they connect. I'm going to take it to the left because I see something that can be broken up. I'm going to put it in its place, turn the front face back up, and fix my centers. Now I should be down to where there's only yellow pieces that need to be connected, and that is basically part 3 to this video on how to get all of those where they will connect. Alright, so what I've done is I have only connected the yellow, red. I connected those two together because when you get down to only yellow pieces needing to be combined, you can only have one of them paired up, because then you have to do, I don't really want to call it a special move, but you got to position your other yellow pieces in the correct places so that when you do the same move you've been doing to get all these other pairs, all 3 of them kind of fix at one time. So one of them have to be together though, so whichever one you decide to do, you want to pair up one pair, just one, that has yellow on it, and then you want to look for the other 3. So I see that I have blue, green here. I want to look for the other, maybe blue, green. I actually, the blue, yellow. I see a blue, yellow that's down here on the bottom. It needs to be turned up, and then turned around. And I actually have this now where I could take this up and the blue-yellow would combine. But if you continue doing the same thing that I've showed you, you run out of things to replace this with. So then you put something together, but you take apart something that's already correct. So in this step, you want it lined up so that you could turn it up and combine it. But you also got to find that third side that needs to be changed as well. So it's back here in the back, and you want to turn it and get it on the same face, but it's on the side of this action that's going to be happening. So when I turn this up, you see that it's on the side. Now, what I do need though is I need this orange, and I need this orange to be basically diagonal of one another. So the side that I've brought this on is actually the incorrect side. So the way to move it from this side over to here, the best way is just to get it on the back of the cube. Turn the back of the cube around 180 degrees. Bring it up. Now what you see here is that now I've got it on the right side, but the orange yellow, what is diagonal of it is green yellow. What I need is this piece to be the orange yellow. So to make that the orange yellow, if this ever happens where you get them diagonal but it's the wrong colors, all you need to do is take this side down to the bottom, bump those two pieces around one time to get it on the back of the cube, to get it back here. Turn the back of the cube up so that those two appear on the same side. Make sure to bump the bottom after you bump those two that need to be flip-flopped. Bump the bottom back because you had it correct, and then bring this around where it's still going to be on the same side. But what you just did is you made the orange yellow be diagonal with the orange yellow, and you'll see why that's important right here. So as long as you have it set up like this, you're good to go. You want to take this up to the blue as you have been doing. Take it up to the blue. They are going to connect, but you want to replace the blue yellow that is correct with the stuff that you had over here on the side. So bump it to whichever side that may be. Bring that stuff down into its place. Turn it back up, and then when you fix your centers, watch what happens. As I'm fixing my centers, orange, yellow is paired up. Also, green, yellow is paired up. And all my other sides are paired up. So everything's paired up but the corners. And that is exactly what you need to make this basically just like a 3x3. There are a few other little steps in there. But I'm going to continue to solve as if you wanted to solve right along with me. And if you watch the video from the start to the finish, you'll solve it just like me. So I'll pick it right back up. Now when you get the edges and centers and they're all combined as they are here, you want to go ahead and start solving the white as you would on a 3x3. So like here I've got blue white. If I turn it down and match up the blue here with the blue that's on that white one, and then just turn that face 180 degrees, you see that it is lined up with its correct center and it's lined up with white. I want to keep doing this process. If you ever have something that is like this where white is looking at you on the side, you actually have to rotate this. Since red's on the bottom, you need to rotate it past the red, turn that face up so that the red will connect, and then just bring the white up to the top, and you've got two pieces of the cross. you want to continue going. Here's another one of those examples. So the white orange, see that sorry, this is not working, so turn it one past. Notice I'm going to be moving these white blues, so I need to make sure I do move those back, but I'm going to connect the orange, turn it up to meet the white, and then I'm going to bring back what I had because I don't want to mess up this blue. And here is my green white. Again, I'll be messing up the blue for just a second just to move the thing that's got green white on it to the bottom, but my white blue back up, turn this around to the green matches and turn it up, and you see that I have a white cross now and the centers are correct. You get the corners the same way that you do the I'm actually going to move this a second. You get the corners the same way that you do on the 3x3. What I teach my kids or anybody that I'm trying to teach this to is that if it's a white corner, look at what's on the bottom of it. So it's orange, take it to the orange side. That means that this piece has to go up here, and all you do from here is move this out of the way, bring down that particular corner and replace it with what you need it to be. Turn it back up and you have that corner fixed. You want to do that same process with all the other ones. So again, this one has red on it. It's already to the red side. So I'm going to move it out of the way, bring that corner down, replace it, take it up, and I have that corner. Anytime that you have white on the bottom, this is a good move to know. It was really frustrating when I first started learning cubes, how to get the white off the bottom. It's not on the side. I want it to be on the side, so put it underneath where it needs to go. So this is where it needs to go. Just bring this one down and bump the bottom twice, and you'll see that the white will always appear on the side. And now you can work with it with what I just showed you. So what's on the bottom is orange. Take it to the orange side, which is here, and you want to get this one out of the way. Bring the corner down and replace it. And you have it there. There's one more corner to go. It's actually up there, but it's positioned wrong. So I always am careful. Since this is already on the side, I'm going to bring it down and bump it out. The reason why I did it that way is I knew that white would stay on the side. Again, red's on the bottom, so take it to the red side, get it out of the way, bring down the one you need to replace it, and fix the white. So you now have the white, and you have basically the T's on the side, just like the 3x3, which leads me to the next step. Now this is one of those areas where white will actually go to the floor. This time I'll point it to the floor. And the reason why I say that is we want to start creating big T's. I consider this to be a little T where you have the middle and then the edge is connected with the white. That is a little T, and what we want to do is we want to create a big T where you have a straight up and down 2-layer and then the one that's connected to the white. And we need to make sure that yellow is not on these pieces. Like for example, you see this blue yellow piece here. Yes, that does create a big blue T, but the color that is connected to that blue T is yellow, and that we do not want. So you want to avoid creating those type of T's. You want to create T's that, again, a big T does not have yellow on it. When you create a big T, I always turn it away from me. I position the cube exactly like this, so I guess you could say white is facing away from me, or pointing that way. But I position it here because this is the color that I'm curious about. I created a big T and I say, okay, orange is on the top here. which is actually the front face that's looking at you, but I say, what side of the cube is orange on? And I look and say, orange is on the left. Since orange is on the left, I need to turn this away from where orange is at. So turn this one away from where orange is at. Turn the side that has orange back at me. And then turn the face that was looking at me that I took away from orange, turn it back to fix it, or back where it was, basically. Then the process, or what I always tell everybody, for the 3x3, I say find the 2 white, then the single white. For the 4x4, you want to find the 3 white, take it up to the white. Find the single white, take it up to the white. Move the 4 white here out of the way, and then fix the white. So move it out of the way and fix the white. And you want to continue doing this process. You want to create big T's. So I see I've got blue-red here. I can create a big T with that, a big blue T with red on the top. Turn it away, and I always position that color just like this, just like it is in the video, so that you can kind of see the T that you just created, and you're looking right at the color here. This color, where is it at on the cube? Is it left or is it right? It's not right, so that means it's left, so it's on the left side. I'm going to turn it away from that color, bring the side that has red on it back at me, and then turn that face back where it was. Find the 3 white, take them up to the white. Single white, take it up to the white. Get the white out of the way and fix the white. That is exactly the same statement I say to anybody I'm trying to teach this stuff to. You continue creating T's, the big T's. I created another one, it's got blue on the top. I turn it where it is just like this. I'm saying, where is blue at? Blue's found over here on the left. You always, let's say it was found on the right. If it was found on the right, you always turn away from that color and then bring that color back at you and turn this face back where it was. Just so happens in this video everything's been on the left, so I'm going to turn this away from blue since it has blue on it. I'm going to turn blue back at me. I'm going to turn this back where it was, and then I'm going to find the 3 white, take it up to the white, single white, take it up to the white, get the white out of the way, and fix the white. I've only got one more middle edge piece to go. I see that I've already created a big T here. It's got green on it. Hold it just like this and say, where's green? Again, it just so happens to be on the left, so turn it away, bring this back at me, and take that back where it was. Find the 3 white, take it up to the white, find the single white, up to the white, get the white out of the way, and fix the white. And this would be equivalent to, on the 3x3, you've solved the first 2 layers. Here you've solved the first 2 layers, but it's really 3 layers. And now we're up to the top part of the cube, and we're almost finished. Alright, when you get to this last layer here, we are still wanting to create a yellow cross. As you can see here, I've only got one of my side pieces here that's got yellow pointing at me. All the other ones, the yellow's on the side. Now you will have to use this algorithm I'm about to do pretty much every time you solve an even number cube, 4x4. I know I've used it on a 6x6 before. But this will take the yellow that's on the side and it flips it up to be on the top. So it basically just takes these 2 pieces and it will flip the colors where red will appear on the side and yellow appears up. I'm going to have to do sorry. I'm going to have to do it 3 times, which will be good for you in this video because this is one that takes a little practice. But we're going to be moving the inner right face and the inner left face quite a bit. Every time you move the inner right face, you're going to be moving the top with it. and anytime you move the left interface, you're going to be moving the front face, the one that's looking at you, and it's always 180 degrees. But what you want to do is you want to turn the right face down towards the floor, bump the top face 180 degrees. Then you want to bring the left interface down, bump it 180 degrees, the front face since they're connected. Then you want to take the left inner one back up. Since you did that, bump the front face 180 degrees. You then want to take the right interface down twice, or 180 degrees. Because you did that, you want to turn the top 180 degrees. You then take your right face back up, turn your front, or not your front, but your top face 180 degrees since it is connected with it. Then turn your right face back down and bump your top face 180 degrees. Now for the final steps, you just want to turn the front face that's looking at you 180 degrees, bump the right inner face 180 degrees, and whenever you get this 4 wide in a row, that's when you know you did it correct, because you just need to take it to the the white side. And notice that we flipped them like I said we would, and I want to do that 2 more times to create these 2 to be yellow as well. So you always want to be looking at the ones that you want to flip. Take the right interface down, top 180 degrees. Take the left down, the front 180 degrees. Left goes back up, front 180 degrees. Right interface, you want to go 180 degrees downward. Bump your top twice, or 180 degrees. Take your right interface back up. Take your top 180 degrees. Take your right one back down. Turn the top 180 degrees. You're always going to see that these 2 white always end up there. And when that happens, you just want to turn your front face. You create sort of an L that you extended the line down too much. Take your right interface down 180 degrees. That creates your line I talk about, you always see. And then just turn it 180 degrees. We need to do this one more time and we will have successfully gotten our yellow cross. So I'm going to do it a little quicker. Right interface down, top 180 degrees. Left interface down, front 180 degrees. Left interface up, front 180 degrees. The right one goes down twice. Spin the top twice. Right inner one goes up. Spin the top twice. Right inner one goes down. Spin the top twice. If you're ever wondering about when do you flip the front face, it's when these 2 white are over here on the right. You're going to turn the front 180 degrees, create this overextended L, bring the right 180 degrees, and then take the front back 180 degrees. And you see that we've created our yellow cross, which leads me to just a few more steps and we will have this cube solved. When you get the yellow cross, you're looking for, I call it the fish, but you want to do the algorithm just like in the 3x3. The way that I word it is I take the right side away from me, I bump the top clockwise, I bring the right side back at me, bump the top clockwise. The second time that I take the right side away from me, I need to bump the top twice, and then I fix my white. This is what I refer to as the fish, where 3 of the corners are not yellow, 1 of the corners is yellow. A personal preference of mine is I always spin the top of the cube until this nose of the fish, so to speak, is always in its right corner, so it has orange and blue on it, and yellow's on the top. And you want to hold the fish's nose in your left thumb, and you do that algorithm again, and you'll see that the whole top will become yellow. You do this as many times as needed until the whole top becomes yellow. So take the right away, bump the top clockwise, bring the right back, bump the top clockwise, take the right one away, bump it clockwise, clockwise. Then when you bring it down, notice that we have our yellow, and we actually want to have fill goal post, and if you notice here, if I spin this around, this is actually perfect where I have two orange in the middle, but these red create what I call fill goal post, two green which create fill goal post, two orange which create fill goal post, and I have one side solved, which is awesome. Because then I just want to do the algorithm that you would do on the 3x3 for the last step to solve this. So the way I explain that is I want to turn the color that is solved, I want to turn it facing away from me, and when I face it away from me, I'm going to then turn the front face 180 degrees where white is closest to me. I personally always take white where it's on the left, especially when teaching. I'm trying to teach somebody to do this. Turn the top so that white's on the left, facing the sky. Then you want to bring the left side and the right side of the cube down. And I want to replace these. I want to put the white where yellow is. I want to put the yellow where the white is. So I just turn the cube so that they will replace. Take them back up to the top, bring white closest to me, and then turn the face 180 degrees, and you have arrived at a solved cube. Now there is one other thing that could happen, and I'm going to cover it at the end here. It's a special case because it does not always solve like this has. There's one other case that could pop up. You would need to know one other algorithm, but more times than not, hopefully you are fortunate that it solves as easy as it did for us in this video. So the last, and I guess this is a bonus thing for you cubers out there, it's really hard to find. You've got to like search it all the time for the last layer step, but if it does not solve as easily as it did for us, you're going to come across this issue where you actually have all of the sides solved. It looks like you've got red, white, yellow, but you have a fill goal post here, but you've got orange solved, you've got red solved, but this one's not and this one's not. So what you need is you need this set of two to replace on the other side with this set of two, and it will be solved. Now sometimes these will be beside, like you'll have the yellow blue here, you'll have the yellow green here. If that ever happens where they're on the two faces, basically you can hold it just like this and see them, you need to get it where they're opposite. So the blue yellow here is opposite of what it needs to be replaced with. That's what you need, and you want to do this algorithm to solve it. So to get those to flip, you want to bring the right interface down twice or 180 degrees. You then only want to bump the top layer. That's it, the top layer 180 degrees. Bring the right interface down again 180 degrees. But instead of only bumping the top, you want to bump the two top ones this time 180 degrees. And then bring your right one down again 180 degrees, and you then just want to sort these two layers out so that they're correct. So always take it around, see that those are correct, then I'll take the top, turn it around and see that those are correct, and you see that it's solved again. So I'm actually going to set that back up. The way to do that is to do the exact algorithm that we just did. So again, just slowly, the right one goes down twice, only the top one the first time through, right one goes down twice, take both the top ones 180 degrees, right one goes down right one goes down twice, and you see that I'm back at that issue where 2 sides are solved but 2 are not. When this happens, be looking at one that needs to be replaced. Do that again. So bring this down, only the top one first, bring the right one down twice again, bring both of them, right one down twice, and fix it as you need it. So there's the orange, and we are good. Hopefully this is very helpful. If you encounter something that you have not seen in this video, post it, and I will be more than glad to help. Hopefully you now know how to solve the 4x4. Practice, 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 and you'll have it ingrained in your mind just like I do myself. So it's been fun, and hopefully see you around.